slap on the wrist. They're under 18. They're not going to get any serious trouble. And after they get, after they hit 18, everything they've been charged with, it's a sealed record. Because it's under juvenile stuff. So that's not going to stop them from getting jobs or continuing on with a career or anything. Where an adult, they got a lot more to lose. Where they're, of course, they're taken, arrested, taken to put in jail, and it's a blemish on their record for the rest of their lives. It's always going to show up there. And a lot of times these kids do it for attention. They want people to see, hey, I did this. I shot at him. I have the gun. I shot at him. I ain't scared of him. Look at me. Look at me. Whereas the adults, and I say adults, I'm gonna say 30 or more older. They're more sly about it. They're more slick about it. They don't care about who sees them do it. They just wanted to get it done. They don't care about people seeing it. Matter of fact, they don't even want nobody seeing them doing it. They don't want the attention or the being infamous for, hey, this guy, you gotta be careful of this guy, he'll shoot you. I see them do it. They don't care about that.
Okay. Do any of these cases in general of like gun violence or violence, is it, and I know this might be a somewhat complicated question, but does it ever seem to disproportionately affect different races, like any ethnicities involved more often cases than others?
Yeah, so I'm going to go based off of City of Rocky Mount, because that's where 90% of my career has been at, here in Rocky Mount. So the African American race here, I think it's 60. It's over 60 some percent of the population in Rocky Mount is African American, and so of course you got more African American people here. Of course, you're going to have more dealings with them, where they're let's say 60% and 40% is other, to include white, Hispanics, or Middle Eastern or Asian. That's you're splitting that up between. Let's see, you got 60% African American. Let's say a good 25% makes up I don't know about 25. Let's say 15%, for example, makes up the Hispanic, Middle Eastern, Asian, the other group, should I say, outside of being white.
Yeah.
And so of course you're gonna have more chances or more run-ins with the African American race, because that's the majority of the population here.
No. And as also with that, do people who you do have to run in with, do they also tend to be more generally from low income or kind of middle low income? Or is it really kind of spread?
No, I would say it's more mid to low income.
Along with this, does there really seem to be anything in common that seems to motivate these kinds of crimes to occurring?
I'm sorry, the phone broke out. Say it again.
I was saying, is there any seemingly common motivations between these people, in committing certain crimes, not robbery, because that would be kind of obvious, but
yeah. So the drug epidemic is really, I think, a common thing between even all three classes. You got the upper class people who. The upper, middle, and lower class people are all going through a drug epidemic. The only difference is that the upper class people are able to afford it and don't have to go out here and rob or steal to make the money to buy their drug of choice, where the middle to low income people, they don't have a choice but to go rob, steal, whatever it may be, in order to provide for to provide themselves with that drug.
Mm. Let's see. And just for, are there really, what common drugs are really kind of like targeted?
Well, you gotta go by the race, honestly. So you got the, I guess, Caucasian people are more prone to be on heroin.
Mm-hmm.
Where the African American race is more prone to be on either powder cocaine or crack.
Mm-hmm.
But marijuana, it's equally, it's all across the board. Marijuana is going to be, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever. That's going to be across the board, really, amongst all races. But as far as the hard drugs go, you got the Caucasian people more on heroin, and then the African American race either on crack cocaine or powder. Every once in a while, you'll find one that does heroin. However, they don't ingest heroin through a needle like Caucasians do. And I don't know if it's, I guess, I'll tell you, like somebody had told me, black people do not like shooting themselves with needles, so they will ingest it. So where white people will shoot themselves with needles. So that came from a black guy who told me this. They said that he will never stick himself with a needle. He would rather smoke it or snort it than inject it.
Mm-hmm.
So and you can snort heroin as well, but it's more potent if they inject it in themselves to the vein rather than snorting it.
Would you say any of the, well, you kind of mentioned how with youth gun violence, a large amount of it was for attention as well as knowing that they could get away with it. Would you say any of it may also be connected to drugs at all? Or is it really kind of hard to tell?
As far as the younger generation goes, from my experience, from what I've seen, most of it is from claiming one guy is being disrespectful to the other guy, or this guy is messing with my girlfriend, or social media was posted. Something on social media was posted. He disrespected me. A lot of it's from a form of disrespect from one person to another person. That's why they go out there retaliate and resort to gun violence.
And also, seeing how there's gun safety laws and all, where does it seem like most of these youth are actually getting these guns from? Like from their parents, just illegally buying them, or?
So, some people, which we post signs and make public service announcements, some people do leave their guns in their cars. Sometimes they leave the guns in the cars while the car is unlocked. And throughout the night, a lot of the youth will go out and break into cars, and they'll find it that way. Or if they break into a house and guns are not secured in a safe or some other means where they can't find it, they'll steal it that way.
So break-ins are common.
Yeah, so the break-in, they'll either break into a house or a car and steal the guns that way. That's how most of the time the youths are getting it. And then they just pass the gun amongst one another, sell the gun on the streets, buy a gun from this guy, sell this gun to another guy. And hey, I know this house right here. I know this guy's got a bunch of guns. We should break into his house tonight. That's how they're getting it. They're not going to the stores and purchasing it. So, and that's what a lot of people are not understanding about these gun laws is that it does not matter what laws are put in place or what restrictions you put in place. If I am a legal gun holder and I follow all the rules and I get the gun legally and I leave the gun in my house or in my car and little Johnny decides to break into my house or my car and steals my gun, they will keep that's how the gun violence are. That's how these criminals out here, these felons, are getting these guns through criminal activity.
Mm. And what are the ages of these like children who are normally involved? Like general age range?
They go from I've seen them as young as 11, 12 years old and go up to mid-20s or lower, no, not even mid-20s, lower 20s. Like under 23.
Any ages that are the most common, though?
Anybody under the age of 18. Between 12 and 18. 12 and 17-year-olds. Every once in a while, you get the 18 or 19-year-olds, which is also, popular, too. But a lot of them are between 12 and 17 years of age is most popular right now.
And how do you see like any of these general patterns kind of changing in the future? Do you think there's a potential for them to get better, get worse?
If the judicial system does not hold these kids or parents or families accountable for their actions, I think it's going to get worse. I think we need stiffer. I understand they want to give the kids a chance to rehabilitate, do the right thing, go through counseling or whatever it may be, but you get these kids that are repeat offenders that go out there and constantly go in and out of juvenile hall or juvenile detention, but there's no major repercussion for them when they commit multiple acts. I think we need stiffer juvenile laws, stiffer penalties for juveniles who commit multiple acts of violence.
So really the solution is not even in gun laws in itself, but rather to how we treat youth offenders in the first place.
Yes. I think that if we have stiffer penalties, like, well, shit, if I commit this crime, I'm going to go through this. This is what's going to happen to me. I don't want this to happen to me, so I'm going to try to be right. Or hell, they might say, I don't want to get caught. I'm going to be slick about it and not do it. And not worry about the fame and glory with it.
Okay. I think that's all the questions I have. So thank you for your time.
You are welcome, sir.
Have a good day.
You do the same.